Alright, you saw the title and you saw the thumbnail, so you know exactly what this video is about. You're here to find out whether or not Bloons Tower Defense 6 can actually be beaten with the good old primary towers. So let's cut to the chase. Can I conquer hard mode on Dark Castle using only primary towers? The rules for this challenge are as follows. Only primary towers can be used. No military, no magic, no support. Heroes are allowed, but only if they stick to the primary theme, so that means Quincy, Gwendolyn, etc. Abilities are allowed since some of the primary towers have very useful abilities. Paragons are allowed since farms are actually illegal in this challenge, which we'll get to in a second. This in itself is a challenge. Obtaining paragons, as you know, is extremely difficult in this game. There will be no support towers, which means no farms, no villages, and no engineers. And any non-primary heroes like Geraldo, Etienne, Sorda, Adora are not allowed in this challenge. And that is about it. If you love this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. If you hate this video, leave a dislike, but still subscribe anyway. And enjoy the video.
Flame suit, French letter, and my girl bad. Gatekeeper says open, I ain't come back. 15 minutes dead, talking like a 40 rags.
Wow, so cool. Attempt 1. So this being attempt 1 might sound strange, because I didn't do this in one attempt. As a matter of fact, this took so many attempts. Please subscribe, for the love of God. So these first few rounds were pretty easy. Only a few lives lost here, luckily. And we hit our first upgraded tower. Up until this point, there were no real issues. I got Quincy, I upgraded a few towers, I put down some Glavy boys, and the rounds continued up until...
Seriously?
Yep, so I had my first loss, the lead balloons at round 28, which I completely forgot about. So, on attempt 2, I attempted the same strategy because I am brain dead. Duh! I made it to round 27 and I was about to come up to the lead balloon level. The oh so dreaded lead balloons were here. How was I gonna defeat them? I defeated them with ease. What am I saying? I, of course, revised my strategy since the last failure. Put cannons this time, and I put them much earlier on than I should have. Regardless of that, the lead balloons were no longer a problem. However, there was something else coming up that was gonna be an even bigger problem than the lead balloons.
Incoming! Come on! Oh, come on!
By the skin of my little teeth, I survived the first Moab. Fortunately for me, my towers were able to break the Moab. If they didn't break it, I actually would have just died just then. So I did lose a lot of lives here. However, I am still alive somehow. Rounds 44 and 45 were very simple. I'm really just strategizing here, making sure my tower placements are at least half decent. I really did have a strategy coming into this, even though it doesn't look like it. My Grammy award-winning strategy at the start was actually to start spamming darts. If I could get as many dart monkeys out as possible alongside tack shooters for my cheap defense to start off, I would have had the first at least 5 rounds clear. After that, I would use boomerangs for some mid-game damage. For my hero choice, obviously I chose Quincy for that extra damage and the consistency. While he is probably the worst hero in the game, he's good for this challenge. Now, I am on 4 lives here with plus 6 extra lives. This is a very scary time. I don't want to lose any lives at all. However, rounds 48 and 49 were pretty much a breeze up until, of course, round 50. Now, I don't exactly have the cannon that I want yet, so I kind of have to deal with this manually. I can't just deal with it with an ability. My towers are able, with the help of Quincy's ability, to take out the Moab. It is still round 50 and helps the Moab. Oh, what's it gonna do? What's Quincy? Oh, frickin' nothing. Kill myself. Attempt number 3. Now, admittedly, this was getting a little bit annoying. Alright, I changed my strategy again. Tack shooters, dart monkeys starting off on the 2 sides, making sure that the tack shooters can hit pretty much every row on the map. Then on round 7, old mate Quincy pops out. By the time round 25 rolled around, I had a decent defense. I really wanted to use the balloon crush, balloon impact strategy here because it's actually pretty good for Moab class balloons. I'll walk you through it as I go. However, I really wanted to use this strat where I used the balloon impact cannons, but I also used the Moab maulers to make sure that extra damage was really punched into those Moabs, while the balloon impact kind of slows them down and stuns them. We breezed through the rounds with flying colors, and the Moab comes out, and what do we do? What do we do? What happens? Oh my god, nothing happens. We die again.
come on. Ed, seriously?
I haven't lost yet. Alright, it is attempt 5. This time around, I have a little bit of faith. We're on round 50. We passed my last attempt with flying colors pretty much. The Moabs on round 53 come out and they get absolutely destroyed. I've got so much good stuff on screen right now. I don't even know how they could ever get past. I don't have much camo detection, so I am leaking balloons slowly. However, that's not really that much of an issue yet. As you can see, I am holding up way up until round 55. I annihilate the Moab, and then I instantly lose to a camo rush on round 56. I really need a better strategy. It's time to strategize. Here I make it to round 56 with ease, and I've actually got really good camo detection, so I'm able to actually take out round 56 with no problems at all. I'm able to take out the Moab and the other one with absolutely zero issues whatsoever. This was actually my best game yet. However, can I win this? Oh, I don't know. You'll have to find out.
BFB incoming.
This was one of my best runs yet. I had finally passed round 65. It felt like forever since I'd seen anything past 50. In round 68, I decimated a big red balloon, decapitated it, and ate its flesh. In round 73, I decimated more big red balloons and ate their ancestors' flesh. Round 75 came swinging. A swing and a miss though, because the screen turned red immediately after my fantastic show of diabolical monkey power. Round 77 posed a small threat, however, it was a bust for the Bloony boys. Haha. Round 78. All of this effort just to die again to ceramics. Yeah, I get it. Stop freaking replaying it. I died. I get it. I'm bad. Stop! Stop! I don't want to see myself die again. Ah! After this, it truly was just round after round. I died over and over and over and over again. However, there was one round I noticed that I had died plenty on. Almost more than any other round. The dreaded round 63. And what balloons are on round 63? Groups of leads and groups of ceramics, which spawn 3.9 seconds after the round starts, by the way. Why is this an issue, you ask? Because I have no popping power for these balloons. So obviously this was a massive issue. The camo balloons being more of an issue though, I decided to completely revamp my strategy. You know the part about how I said we're only using primary heroes? Well, I thought it was about time to switch out my hero, because these two clowns were not working. It's Obin time, baby! Woo! Obin not only has a totem that gives towers nearby camo detection, which is perfect, he's just extremely strong in general in the starting rounds, especially. He has an ability called Brambles, which creates spikes on the track that can pop 50 balloons. This will also last multiple rounds if it's not completely destroyed, making rounds 0 to 39 a complete breeze. I basically lost 0 lives in this time. So finally, after a long 1.5 hours of game time, I had the cleanest round 40 yet. Just to lose at round 42. However, this strategy was going to work. I had to make it work. I really did. By the time I got to round 48, I had a new ability on Obin. This was the most important ability next to the Glue Storm or Absolute Zero. Obin spawns a tree that eats balloons, which in turn turns into money. Money was a massive issue in these games. Whether it's not having enough at one point when it's needed or having almost nothing after upgrading, this was almost completely fix that issue in its entirety. Round 50 was freaking way too easy. Next! On the next round, round 53, 3 Moabs came out. Yeah, all three were completely decimated. Oh, yeah, and remember when I talked about this tree that Obin has? Yeah, they completely stopped Moabs. Nice! My next big hurdle was the BFB on round 60. I completely lied. The tree ate all of the insides of the BFB and its little children too. Now it was time for round 63, one I was dreading the most this entire time. Even though my strategy was strong, I didn't know if I could beat this still. However, it didn't matter, because with the help of my abilities and my super strong monkey power, I decimated everything. 64 had reinforced Moabs, which were a bit of a problem, but they were eventually dealt with thanks to the clown shooter, as it's called for some reason. I was so 14 when I called that. Jesus Christ. 2 rounds after that were pretty much a breeze. Round 67 saw 4 Moabs, 1 on each lane. This wasn't really an issue at all. We've seen 100 billion Moabs get eaten up by my little monkeys at this point. However, on the later half of round 67, there was ceramics and camos, which are actually something that I had massive struggle on, as you probably saw in the previous rounds. Not this time though, not this time. I learned. I used my monkey brain. So rounds 68 to 73 here were pretty much a breeze. Everything was just coming and going, whether it was Moabs, BFBs, ceramics, rainbows, camos, literally everything was just getting decimated. At this point, I really started feeling like I had a strong enough defense to finish hard mode, which is round 80. I did want to complete this up to round 100. I did want to do that initially, and I didn't know if this strategy was good enough to get to round 100, but I did know for a fact that this was going to get to round 80. It had to. Round 71 saw a bunch of Moabs. Round 72 saw a BFB. Hey, I leveled up. Round 73 saw 2 BFBs. Round 77 saw 4 BFBs and some Moabs. At this point, my defense was really strong. However, on round 78, I saw a bit of leakages. Round 79 had a few BFBs, some Moabs, and a reinforced BFB, which was interesting. However, none of this seemed to be an issue. And finally, we get to round 80, the big boy ZOMG. I'll just talk you through my defense real quick. I have an absolute 0, a Bloons solver, I think a Kylie boomerang, I've got a Juggernaut in there, a premature tack zone. I mean, I didn't have enough money at this point to make a tack zone just yet. I think I have a glaive thrower top left. I've got the big boy cannon, who's probably doing the most damage up there. And then I've also got the relentless glue. Now, this defense was seemingly unkillable. Now that we're on round 80, one ZOMG comes out. And it is now time to see if my defense can really take out the biggest, baddest of them all, the ZOMG.
A great success!
Of course it can. Of course it can. So it was time for free play. When could this combination of towers, primary only, lose? Realistically, I think I know what you're all thinking. I definitely know what you're all thinking. It's the dreaded DDT round, right? That's probably where this loses. Or does it? After rounds 80 were very simple. 80 to 90 were very, very easy. Nothing interesting really even happened here. That's why I'm kind of like putting a montage here. I had a few struggles along the way. A little bit, sort of. There was a lot of reinforced Moabs and BFBs. However, this was fine. They were sending a lot more BFBs than usual. I mean, of course, this is free play mode after all. However, my defenses were keeping up. I don't really remember which tower had the most pops. I'm just assuming it was either the Bloons solver or my cannon. Bloons solver was solving a lot of my issues, if you know what I mean. But the relentless glue was also doing its job very well. I think every tower here worked super well together. I was really trying to save up for a glaive lord here. I didn't know how much it was going to help in the long run. However, I just really wanted to see it because I hadn't seen a glaive lord in a long time. I mean, just look how cool it looks. Come on. Round 87 was fine. Round 88 was also fine. I have a really good defense right now, and I am not ready to say goodbye to this thing, because who would want to say goodbye to their child after nurturing it for 90 rounds? I mean, come on, that's just silly. On round 89, there were reinforced Moabs and reinforced BFBs, but again, this isn't really an issue. Round 91, we're slowly creeping towards the round that I knew I would have issues with. So I'm trying to savor this moment, these Moabs, these BFBs, you know, the things that I know I can destroy in like 5 hits. I'm really trying to savor this moment. Maybe even, you know, slow it down a bit. Guys, slow it down, please. Guys, I don't want the video to end. Who am I kidding? My defense was going madness all over these. There was 4 ZOMGs in that round, by the way. My defense was doing a madness all over them, squirting and everything. And it was time for round 93. The dreaded round. What do? I place a cannon that can't hit the DDTs. Good job, man. Stupid. Absolute